The 20s and 30s had to be one of the most romantic periods in Britain's motoring history. The Bentleys of that era epitomised the chic of the decades. Stanley Mann is arguably the doyen of vintage Bentleys. Stanley, these cars, the Bentleys, were built when there was a serious amount of great in Great Britain, wasn't there?
There was a serious amount of great in just about everything around this country, but the cars were something very, very special. They were built by people who understood everything there was needed to know about engineering, and they are the best, and they were building the best.
So how did you get the passion for Bentleys?
Well, I'm 5 years of age, and I'm living in Hendon, which is where the Bentleys were made. And I suddenly saw one of these driving down the road, and I said to my dad, "What's that?" He said, "That's a Bentley." The funny thing is that some years later, I actually owned that car, and I was captivated the first time I saw one.
What really is the entry level for a Bentley? I mean, to me, it was probably telephone numbers, is it?
Well, I don't know. A 3-litre Bentley, you'd really be looking at something like a speed model. We've got one in the showroom that was modified by a wing commander during the war. It still looks exactly the same. And the car will sell for mid-60s. But keep it 5 or 6 years, it's always going to be worth that and maybe a little bit more. So is he going to get more fun leaving it in the building society or driving it? And if he can afford it, I would drive it.
Now, Stanley, is this the one that you actually saw at the age of 4 driving along?
Yep. I discovered where the car was going to all those years ago, and I met the guy. We became very, very good friends. He was quite a famous Bentley restorer. And the story, as he's told me, the car, he bought it in 1942 for 12 quid.
God.
And some 16 years ago, I gave him a profit.
Now, I can see some hats in there. You going to take me out in it?
Well, I think it's heartbeat to increase and doors to manual.
All right, mate. Oh, it sounds wonderful.
Shall we go?
All right, let's go. Well, this is what it's all about, isn't it, eh? All very well seeing them in the showroom.
That's the time to find out what the excitement's all about.
Oh, that's music. Stanley, now look, there isn't a clutch. Well, there is a clutch, but is there? I mean, how are you driving it?
Well, it's a centre throttle. The brake's on the right, the clutch is on the left. In fact, all good quality cars before the war, believe it or not, were right-hand drive and had a centre throttle. But the car is very, very easy to drive when you get used to it. And we've got about 140 horsepower here, so we could drive anything up to just over 100 miles an hour.
Well, I was going to say, the actual revs per minute, I mean, it's hardly even ticking over. I can see why they're just purely addictive. You know?
It's magic, isn't it?
Oh, it's fantastic.
And if I've had a good row with a wife, and I've had to kick the cat, and my son's driving me mad, there's nothing quite like getting out in a Bentley and really enjoying getting the air through your hair and into the wind, and then changing up, just listening to that glorious sound.
Wonderful.
See, the silly hats really work, don't they?
They're great. I love them. I'm going to wear one in the bath.
Listen to that.